Hello. No, I'm gonna start stream Poseidon. I'm not outdoors, I just have pretty terrible bandwidth in here. Switch to live chat. Alright, so I'm uploading this this video right now. That's what the start of the stream is gonna be. You're supposed to, for anyone wanting to create their own channel, you're supposed to describe briefly like what the video's about, because like they use like an LLM, I think now, cosine similarity, to figure out like how it's interesting to people. How I programmed other people into doing what I wanted using autistic mind magic. That'll show this video to the right people. I also like to throw in some keywords that make the algorithm think that, hey, how's it going? That this is a good video to show people. Hashtag money, hashtag capitalism, oops. Hashtag profit, hashtag Google, hashtag YouTube, hashtag Greece, because I like getting Greek guys in my audience, and Turkey, just to get some like comments, a little bit of a comment war going. Autism, yeah, autism is quickly becoming. Hashtag ADHD. Hashtag reading. Hashtag social prowess. What's up? I don't think that matters since YouTube transcribes your video and analyzes a transcript. Yeah, I don't think it really does either. You're right. I'm just... Okay, and then I turn on monetization, and this is just to prey upon the weak who don't have ad blockers. If you don't have an ad blocker, you kind of deserve to watch ads, in my opinion. And yeah, it's kind of like preying on the feeble. I think it's a reasonable thing to do. It's like they're feeble, they kind of deserve to be smited, you know? Oh yeah, I forgot hashtag Linux. And hashtag Vim. And Unix. And Windows, and Mac OS, and software. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, and then in this screen you basically say that you didn't say anything like racist, and then you click submit. Even if you did say something racist, they never check. And then end screen, I guess I'll add an end screen. I'll import from, damn, that didn't have an end screen. Does this have an end screen? Damn it, I never make an end screen. Okay. Best video for viewer, sure. All right. And then, yeah, we're good to go. And then I make it, it's still checking, so I'm gonna make it unlisted for now. Yeah. Best tutorial, thanks. Anyone knows Persian? Hold on, let me check my content. So you can see when you upload a video, it'll show you, it like checks it to make sure it's not like egregious hate speech or anything. And then when they make sure it's not, it'll turn on monetization. But if you don't really care about your monetization, like I don't really, honestly, you can just like make it public immediately. And yeah, that should be published. The reason I'm publishing this video right now at the same time as the stream is it'll hopefully draw more people to stream. So I can, yeah. What's up, Buzz Baldrin? Yeah, and I'll miss out on a little bit of monetization, but it's like pennies because everyone uses ad blockers. You know, ad blockers don't actually count towards your channel views now, apparently. All right, let me make myself big. Okay. Yeah. Where am I at? You want me to like dox myself? I'm not doing that. With the black pill and looks maxing, what's the black pill? I am familiar with looks maxing. I think it's kind of sad that everything has become so aesthetic, though. I believe in mental maxing, mind maxing, just like reading a ton. Yeah, I am in a library. This is my library of knowledge. I think looks maxing will not get you very far in what you want. If you want girls, what will get you very far is mental maxing and understanding girls. Do I play instruments? Yeah, I play the Irish fiddle. Um, You did improve your looks a lot, though. You're kind of looks maxing. Thank you. I mean, I wouldn't say. Yeah, IQ maxing is the way to go. But I would say don't focus all your time on looks maxing. I think you can spend a little bit of time doing that, but like don't make it your obsessive hobby. Make intelligence maxing your obsessive hobby, and then the looks maxing will be easy because you'll be reading so much you'll like know how to make yourself look good. And if you want to look good, honestly, it all really comes down to like diet and sleep. Like people worry about fashion and all that stuff, but it's like just be a healthy person and you'll look good. People that are like eating highly processed food and barely sleeping is like, yeah, there's obviously you're not gonna look good. You're basically poisoning yourself. Um, couldn't play the violin, so called it a fiddle, or is it actually a fiddle? It's it's a violin, sure. You could call it that. I mean, fiddle's just like traditional form of violin. It's just like a different style. I just don't play classical music because yeah, I'm not good enough. I prefer to like jam with people than to like get really technically good at music. Uh, Yeah, I agree that fashion is dead. Everyone is kind of just copying like TikTok culture now. It's like really sad. There's not a lot of ingenuity. I mean, I see some people doing it, but it's like the internet culture is pretty chopped. I can't even say chopped is such a fucking internet word. There needs it's hideous. You know what I want to hear brought back to is the word lame for people that are like physically disabled. You know, why do we like have a mentally disabled and physically disabled as like one term? It's derogatory. Like that guy's lame, you know, he's broken his leg. I think that's a word that needs to come back. It has good meaning. Jake is good. Uh, yeah, people that do looks maxing are unattractive themselves because they don't know how to act. They don't know how to talk to people. They're empty vessels. One of my thoughts on alcohol, I used to drink socially, but now I just don't need it. Now that I've read a lot of books on charisma, there's no point. Like I can just I'm more about the human connection, and I can get really good human connection without like dulling all my senses. And alcohol, I think, is just kind of bad for you all around. It doesn't have a lot of upside. Same thing with weed. And no, I don't especially watch anime. I've seen Attack on Titan, but that's about it. But it was a great show. Yeah, exactly. Fashion should be about your stuff and not. That's the video I'm releasing today. Actually, the biggest book is called The Charisma Myth. That's what helped the most. Yeah. Am I neurodivergent? I don't know. We're arguably all neurodivergent, I guess. Except when you start to think like that, it's like no one is neurodivergent anymore. Like I actually don't think I am. I'm not sure that I even have ADHD or autism. I think I'm just a normal guy. Um, is there a paper on IQ relation with genetics? I'm a big on the nurture versus over nature. I think it's way more about how you were raised and what you learned at what ages than your genetic material. I think basically all of us are capable of extreme intelligence. Intelligence is honestly just like how much you've learned. It's all really about learning. You don't ever think like I'm dumb. You can always improve how much you know. Just like working out. Like anyone can get jacked. Like yeah, some people maybe inherently can get a little more jacked because they have certain types of genetics that look better. But yeah, anyone can get really smart, I think. Um, no, don't leave the stream to watch a video that'll be around forever. What are you doing? Um, yeah, viscerally ruminate certain scenes, which is not optimal for other goals. That's very insightful. Things you think actually have a lot of effect on your mental state. So yeah. How much do you work in a week or day? I don't really work that much. I wouldn't worry about like the the perpetual grind. What I do is I just do what I enjoy. And like it's really hard to make yourself work constantly. Like we're not wired to do that. We're lazy animals naturally. I hate working. I'm lazy as hell. But if you cut out all the TikTok and everything that's like mentally dopamine overwhelming, so much so that like all you have to do is read and be curious, then it's like just free all the time because it's just what I love doing now. I just love to read. So it's like it's not even work for me. It's what I do for fun. Um and I would say probably 8 hours a day now I spend reading. Um Yeah, forget 80% of the stuff I read. I would start writing notes. I didn't believe in notes for the longest time, but if you write down key points and then review them later, that really helps. And also Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, to like practice not letting your mind wander to what you're going to eat for dinner later and what girl you like and what other stuff. If you can like kind of let those thoughts go and just focus on being in the present and your breath, you can absorb a lot more information. Um, yeah, let's see. How many books do I read a month? I don't know. It's very variable because I spend a lot of time talking to people too. That's also how I absorb a lot of my information. Um, I do want to read the rest of the Dune series. I think Dune is pretty awesome. Yeah, I would really try to stop doom scrolling. It's honestly like mind control. You're wasting away your life, and I don't want to like just tell you that because you won't change. But if you can cut out the doom scrolling and replace it with reading, your life will be remarkably different. You'll become popular, you'll become rich, you'll become like all your dreams will immediately come true. Not immediately, but within several weeks you'll see a dramatic difference. If you can replace doom scrolling with like reading a book like The Charisma Myth and How to Win Friends and Influence People and reading financial books too, you'll start to like it's reading like no one does it now, so it's the bar. The average person is so TikTokified. The bar for success has gone way down. So just like reading a little bit makes you super successful. It's a very exciting time to be alive, actually. Like everyone's like, oh, the job market is fucked. Oh, it sucks. But so many people are so incompetent that it's like just a little bit of reading will get you so far. It's really amazing. I'm very optimistic for the future because the people that are trying now, the people that actually care about knowledge, and the people that like go and read things, they do so well. And yeah, that I think the Charisma Myth is like the best book you could start with because it's a book where you'll read it and basically everyone will immediately be like it'll make you popular. And that's like one of the biggest incentives to read. It's like if you read this book and you see like wow, I read about how to talk to girls and then I can now talk to girls and I'm really popular. It's like I just want to read more and more. I can control so much around me if I understand how it works. If I read about money and like how to trade, uh, how to make like good financial decisions instead of just watching random like TikTok financial advice and speculatively investing in random cryptos whenever I feel like it. Like you're gonna start making a ton of money too, and then you'll be like, wow, I can actually read more and more and more and get more info about everything, and I'm like a walking god because no one is reading. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it is so hard to not doom scroll, and that's because if you think about it, it's been engineered to control you. Think about how freaky that is. There's a room of people understanding psychology, and they are all like thinking about how to make this as addictive as possible. Doesn't that horrify you? Like the fact that you want to doom scroll all day, like it's literally like mind control that they've engineered because they understand our like subliminal caveman desires so well. They want you to do anything but think, so you'll keep consuming and keep watching ads and keep buying stuff for them. It's literally mind control. It's horrifying. Um, it's the charisma myth. It's gonna be in that next video. It's horrible. How do you increase your attention span without ADHD pills? That's a great thing too. I'm gonna make a video about that. But basically, just meditating and trying to clear your thoughts of like your desires to keep doing more and more and more and achieving more. Try to get rid of those. Try to breathe and stay in the present and then read. And it's going to be agonizing to read, dude. It was so hard for me to read. It was so hard for me to read even a chapter of Dune. It was like the most excruciating, painful experience in many years. And I did this when I was in the psych ward, and I'm really grateful I got sent to a psych ward because there was nothing else to do, literally nothing else. I was like locked in a room with a book and no internet, no nothing, and I had to read the book. And it like completely changed my life because now I'm reading books and I'm learning so much. And it's like I honestly like I'm feeling like there's going to be a bit of a cultural revolution in Gen Z towards reading because people that read instead of doom scrolling are going to start to be so successful that other people that doom scroll will see those people and then they'll be like, holy shit, like I want to be like that guy. That guy has got his whole life put together. And the more people read, the more they'll realize that reading is kind of the key to everything. And yeah, it's just like the level of information that that is on TikTok is just horrible compared to the amount that's in books. It's like literal fractured garbage nonsense compared to just like straight wisdom of the ancients piped right into your brain, like godlike ascension and knowledge and control. It's like intoxicating to read. Um, Do you plan on selling a product? Not really, because I don't want to like exploit you guys for money. I think the way that I make money right now, and this is a grift that's awesome. If you guys know about this, I basically have a ton of different credit cards, and credit cards there's pretty much no downside as long as you pay them off always. So I have a ton of different credit cards, and then everything I buy, I put them all in credit cards, and then I get referral bonuses. Like if I pull up my website real quick, um, let's see if I go to sylvanfranklin.com, so I have referral bonuses. There's a couple other credit cards I have to put up here, but basically when anyone signs up for these, I get this amount of money. So I watch my credit card bill rack up and then people just like refer all the money away from it. So I basically like I can just buy everything for free. And I don't need to be rich yet. I just need to like live and I through this credit card grift, I just basically don't pay rent or groceries or anything. And I have saved up money from jobs. So I'm able to just kind of like I don't know, coast, and that's all I need for now. Eventually, I'd like to make money just so I can influence more people and spread the message of education more. But yeah, I can't do too much too fast, or people think I'm like manic and crazy. But that's how I'm currently making money. All right, back to the main. Yeah, charisma myth. It's all over that book. That's what I'm saying. Um, Are you coding with AI and do you have any tips? Because I'm still raw dogging my code base and using AI more as docs. I don't really ever try to use AI now at all. I use it very occasionally once in a while. I use ChatGPT Deep Research to find books. But other than that, I don't use AI at all because it's about the long term gain more than it's about an investment in yourself. If you can code really well, you're going to be worth so much more money than being like a GPT monkey and it's painful and slow, but it's like you have to realize every moment of pain is like more money in the future. Like whenever you feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, it's like you make a future dough by doing that. Is college even worth it? It's not right now for a lot of people. It's not for me. In fact, I get free tuition, and it's not worth it for me because I can learn so much more on my own because of all the bullshit classes that they've forced down our throats these days. College has really crumbled and become pretty terrible, at least in the U.S. here. So I honestly don't think so. If you have the discipline to learn on your own, but I do want it to be worth it again one day. So that's why I think people should still go to college. And if you spend every minute, is my uh, is my audio low? Really low. I mean, it looks okay from this perspective. Um, and okay, we're looking good. What was I saying? Oh, about college. You can make your education amazing. What you do is you go and you talk to PhDs and you show them autistic levels of interest. Like you go to your math guys and you like talk so deeply and you're like you try to understand all of their knowledge. If you can really try to go and absorb knowledge yourself and take agency and read books all day in the library, you can have an amazing education. Just don't rely on the university like dragging you through it because they don't do that well anymore. You have to take agency yourself, I'm finding. Yeah, it's you can build a good network easily. Yes. Yeah. Um looks like there's a big old fight and argument going on. What programming language did you learn first? Honestly, man, it doesn't matter. It's not about the language, it's about just picking one and starting. It's about building some product. I think what I learned first was Java. I took like a Udemy course in Java. I got like two-thirds of the way through it. I hated it. And then I switched to Python and then I started building like games in Pygame. And then I did that for a year or two. And then I switched to web dev and I learned I think basic HTML, and I jumped pretty quickly to React because that was Ben Awad era, and then from there I did like Svelte and Rust and Haskell and all the other stuff. Um, oh, I'm just asking to ask. Cool. It looks like kebab case. You said genetics and IQ are related. I don't really think they're all that related, to be honest, unless you're like straight up like mentally not all there and you've got some chronic conditions. Um, then it's related, but um, Uh, what advice would you give to me, a JS framework merchant, to switch to core software engineering? What do you mean core software engineering? I'm gonna go read the comments on the newest video. I think that could be a somewhat interesting thing to do on stream. I don't know. I'm no entertainer. You guys want to see my revenue numbers? That's always kind of fun. 879 this month. One of this was just Jake donating $100 to me, and I pay his grocery bill though, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, pretty cool, right? This video about me roasting that one guy is still kind of popping off. This is like allowed under the terms, right? Okay. Let's see what are the comments? Sort by newest. If you want to go comment on this video, that's a way to. Rose reading IRL documentation. How do I achieve the same thing if I can't read yet? I'm 4. Did you watch FD Signifier on ContraPoints? We're reading IRL docs first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Charlie made 35 mil. Yeah, it's crazy how much money you can make off exploiting people that don't want to. You guys honestly shouldn't be really watching streamers. You should be coding on your own projects if you want to. Yeah, but I don't think it really matters. I consider myself, hopefully, at least not totally a waste of time because I'm telling you to stop watching me. So, like, don't stop watching me yet because, like, I might have other things to say, but, like, watch out for people to just, like, I think the Primogen keeps streaming too much. It's like people shouldn't be watching other people code and talk about coding. They should be coding themselves. I think the Primogen's a little bit of a Silicon Valley grifter, to be honest. Yeah. Um, yeah, imagine donating to streamers. Yeah, that is NPC behavior. Yeah, thanks for not donating to me, guys. I appreciate that. My audience is too smart for that kind of shit. Um, let's see. What's your approach in learning something you don't know? Really feel like um, learning it, but you know you have to. I'm not sure learning what I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I don't drink caffeine anymore now. Um, is preferred audiobooks a dopamine problem? Somewhat, I would say, but I also kind of prefer audiobooks. I would say the best method for reading, which is what I'm doing right now, is listen to an audiobook, but don't do it while doing something else. Unless like physical exercise is okay. I think it's fine to listen to like audiobooks for your enjoyment, like fiction you can listen to while doing other things, but if you're trying to learn something from the audiobook, the way I like to do it now is like I have Vim open and I'm taking notes as I listen to the audiobook and I like pause the audiobook continually. And also if you're reading, never never like be reading a book and then like when you're like zoning out and you're reading a book and you zone back in and you're like holy shit I just read like a whole paragraph, I just read like a whole page and like I have no idea what's going on. Whenever that happens to me I like beat myself up mentally. I'm like how could I have done this? And then I like go back and like think some negative thoughts. Like imagine your mom being like imagine she's driving along and then she gets in a car accident and like and then she flies out of the window and she gets like impaled on like a mailbox, and she like dies horribly. Imagine something like that whenever you zone out while you're reading, and that'll help you condition yourself. This sounds ridiculous, but it actually kind of works. That'll help you like realize that you need to be paying attention. And yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but that thing actually works. That's a real technique that will actually work. You have to like really like imagine just horrible gore whenever you like zone out and your brain will be like, "Oh god, I better pay attention to this." Yeah, schizomaxing. Yeah. Whatever. No, it's not rage bait. That's actually I actually do that. I stand by that. I just made like a ridiculous over the top like imagery for that, but um recently found out about the Primogen. He's a bit annoying. He memes too much. I want to learn about the info, which is the title of the video, not about. Yeah, that's the problem with my opinion of the Primogen. Is he actually doesn't want to do work that much. He loves to just talk about technologies and frameworks, and he loves to be a streamer a lot more than he loves to like actually work on stuff. And I mean, you could argue that's what I'm doing right now. So it's like pretty. It's pretty unfortunate, but that's just what happens. Like streaming is inherently not very productive. Like you should just be on your own learning things and not trying to absorb too much from other people. Um, because otherwise you're kind of a bot that's not thinking for yourself, to be honest. If all your sources are like the Primogen telling you what framework to use, then it's like, god damn, you're just like such a follower. You don't ever think for yourself. Um, Hello, Mr. Franklin. You always speak on your gain of knowledge, but I wonder where the root of these ideas come from. I'm simply begging for a list of great books. Yeah, I can give you a list of great books. The video I just published will have a couple, but I'm going to keep releasing the books as I read them. Another really cool book is I read recently called The Botany of Desire, which is about how our different plants we have like impact our mental states and stuff. This botany is pretty interesting to me. I, I would just read anything that interests you. It doesn't have to be like life changing. It doesn't have to be for the sake of getting ahead of people. It's just like think of it like you think of TikTok. You do it because you're interested in it. You just want to know more. That's yeah. Um yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Primogen source video to React video length is insane. How many languages do I speak? I speak all of them. Um, yeah, imagine being a follower of the Primogen. Whatever you say, Messiah. Yeah, whatever. If you like Primogen, you like Primogen. It's not the biggest deal in the world. In my opinion, watching the Primogen all day is really a waste of time, though. Like, you're just burning through your time, like, watching other people think about how to code instead of coding yourself. There's this real problem I'm seeing, this phenomenon where people in modern society, instead of doing the activity themselves, they like to watch people that are good at the activity and vicariously experience it through them. Like back in the day, people used to play a lot of sports, and now like a lot of America just watches pro football and sits on the couch eating chips. And it's the same thing is becoming a phenomenon in programming where people code less and less and less, and they watch people like Prime and Theo just talk like give takes about coding, and they're like, man, I'm a good coder because I'm watching this other guy code, and they have like they have no actual spine or technology grasp themselves, and you're like, oh, could you go implement like a full stack web app for me? And they're like, and they start just like not, they don't even know what framework to pick because their like skill set is just understanding all the JavaScript meta frameworks now, like, and they can tell you all the different kinds of frameworks, but actually ask them to implement anything, it's like, god damn, they know nothing. It's pathetic. And that's yeah, I don't know. That seems what's happening to me all over dev YouTube right now. It's pretty sad, to be honest. Yeah, so if you're in a position of watching one of those people, this is hopefully great. This is maybe your wake up call to start becoming a cracked developer because it's really not that hard. If you have the same interest, but it's for just reading documentation and for understanding things yourself, you can go really far. The bar to entry is really low. If you actually start trying, six-figure job is like guaranteed. Dude, I have like so many jobs now, I don't even know what one to pick. It's like, and the bar is just so low. Um, um, I don't know why people are calling me Mr. Franklin. I'm sorry you bombed your interview. That sucks. You'll get him next time though. Life's a marathon, not a sprint. Vimeo browser extension is excellent. Uh, you want to see a couple tricks for Vimeo? This is some of my favorite that a lot of people I think don't know about. So you know how you can click on links with F. I have the link hints coded to white just because I think it's nicer than yellow. So you can click on things like that. But the biggest ones, let me open up like, I'm just gonna Google the word testing. So you can type the words GI and then it'll focus the search bar. So that's like, I use that 20 times a day, GI, boom. And then I think you can GE to edit the URL bar too. You can also use Control L. That's nice, but GE is good too. But GI is like life-saving. Like, I just start typing in. It's so awesome. And then you can also yank links to clipboard. So you go Y and then I. No, yeah, Y, I, and then it'll show you links. No, that's for like the images. It's YF and then AR. And you can see now I can paste that link. But you can also yank images. So if I grab that one, I could do Y, I, and then A, and that'll copy that image to clipboard. And if I opened up Figma right now, you could see it would be on my clipboard. But that browser extension is absolutely awesome. It saves so much time. Let's see. So now I should be able to paste that image, yeah. Okay. Much better to listen to a 22-year-old with no experience. I'm actually 20, bro. I'm not 22. Well, I'm 21 now, actually. I turned 21 pretty recently. Yeah, Raycast clipboard history is awesome. What did you say about the Vimothee bar settings? Map T, active tab session, query visited. What does that do? Rotten eyes. Can you open a GitHub issue on that so I don't forget, please? Am I on the spectrum? I don't know. Maybe. Just, what even is the spectrum? Okay, what's the important topic, Alexander? Is it just me or Cursor VS Code nuke code bases at random if one doesn't use version control? I think they do that no matter what. I think you'll find that Vim is a superior editor. When did you switch to DuckDuckGo? Like ages and ages ago. I'm not giving you my birthday. You're gonna fucking reset my security questions on my bank accounts. How do you approach documentation of a new language or concept? I just start reading it. Like, if I want to know about SvelteKit docs. The docs just walk you through things. They have a getting started section almost always, and I just read the whole thing. Introduction, before we begin. And then what is SvelteKit? Just read it start to finish. There's no, like, trick around it. Just read it. No, I'm 20. What's my thoughts on Linux and why don't I use it? I have a whole video on that, but the reason I don't is I don't especially think it matters. I'd rather have my whole operating system configured for me because I'm more interested in other things than like how perfect my operating system can be. I would rather eventually make my own operating system with a couple of friends. We're looking into doing that, but yeah, I don't know. My one friend has read like the entire Unix manual. He's gearing up to make his own operating system. And the VS Code pill is similar to the Vim pill, or it's similar to the not using Linux pill because it's like, why would you, if you can have an editor pre-configured for you, why would you use Vim? And there's honestly a lot to that. I think VS Code might be better than Vim in a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways it's also not. It really, my opinion, you should still learn Vim, but it's like it doesn't really matter so much what you learn because my experience, if you get good enough at programming, you will just learn Vim because you realize it's the right thing to do. You shouldn't learn Vim for the sake of learning Vim. Do you ever watch courses on programming? I used to. That's how I originally learned. Now I just read documentation. It's kind of hard to read documentation if you're a beginner. It's like not very fun. So yeah, I did do courses a lot. How did your friends react to you going insane for a bit? Some of them don't trust me on certain things still. They're like, oh, that's insane, Sylvan. But I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, I'm just successful. I'm getting, like, quite popular at school. And, yeah, everyone who is worried, I'm able to just now convince and persuade because I read so much about persuasion that I'm completely fine. Which I am. You better believe it. Do you prefer Mac or Arch? I prefer Mac OS because the battery life is insane. But I think Omarchy has a lot of promise. It's really really good. What's my current tech stack for web? My current tech stack is SvelteKit and TypeScript because it's got a lot of library interop, and TypeScript is just or SvelteKit is really really well designed. It's just Yeah, it's a great piece of technology. SvelteKit is pretty much the best. There's also a library called Effect TypeScript, which my friend Ethan Nizer works on the team for. Like I know some guys at Vercel that work on this, and there are some really great devs. This basically turns TypeScript into Haskell. So that's like something I'm looking at for the back end of this next thing I'm gonna build. But yeah, I don't know. That's my tech stack, but it doesn't matter what the tech stack is. I'm not a fan of Shed CN either. I think that's cheating. I'd rather just make my front end from scratch because I feel like it's too much abstraction. How the hell am I getting popular at school without being in school? That's a great thing. Like I just show up to school. I show up to like my clubs that I was doing, and I hang out around the library and stuff all the time at school. So I'm basically in school without being in school, and that's how I do it. And people think it's like, oh, you're the kid who dropped out and has all these like business opportunities going on. It's like almost more aura than yeah. Yeah, I'm really tired of Shed CN. Ruby is really cool. Ruby on Rails is a well-designed framework, but I think just TypeScript and Svelte are a very modern. Your Rich Harris, the creator of Svelte, is like really brilliant. It does not turn TS into Haskell. Too many keyboards. Okay, it's an exaggeration, but no, I dropped out. Well, I'm maybe gonna come back next semester, but I don't know. I There's no reason to really. Well, there kind of is. I think I will be going back next semester. Opinions on using vanilla JS and CSS, ignoring all the frameworks. First of all, I know you're a noob because of the way you're writing. You're not capitalizing the correct things, but beyond that, at least you're here and learning, so that's awesome. The problem with using vanilla JS and stuff is just think for a second like, why do vanilla JS, CSS, and HTML exist? And why are the big companies and why are lots of people not using them if they're good? It's like you don't want to have the hubris to think that you can reinvent the wheel and have it be better. And that's why I trust like Svelte and Rich Harris so much because he basically like I don't this is like a guy who's been in the same position as you and has spent thousands of hours developing a framework to make it easier. Problem is if you just use vanilla CSS, JS and HTML, it gets like really complicated and bloated to do any kind of like interactive state management. It's a nightmare to try to I don't know. I try to look towards something I really respect like Svelte and just read the docs carefully and try to build my understanding up and yeah, I don't know. What's the figure in my portfolio? Like this thing? I don't know. It's just a random like piece of art that I threw together in Figma one time. Uh, Probably I was majoring in math. I might major in communications theory. Um, yeah. What's my words per minute? Like 120 or something. Opinion on Astro. I haven't tried Astro, but it seems solid. I don't really love talking about all the different tech stack stuff. It's like it doesn't matter, dude. Just go and do projects. Same with HTMX. I don't know. Yeah, I have many CS jobs. Have you not seen the video? I have all the jobs. Using mouseless. Okay, I'll look into mouseless. Low level learning. I don't know that well to be honest. Yeah, that's. Would you major in gender studies and their impact on queer theory? I wouldn't personally, but I do think it's important to have some people studying that. It's not really what I'm interested in. Yeah, thanks for loving my work. Damn, 5K keyboard plus weird layout just for 120. Unlucky. Dude, typing speed and like Vim is such a scam. You have no idea like what a fake cult of fake productivity you're in if you think typing speed is what makes you a good developer. Think about this, like it could take you 2 minutes to type out something or maybe you're really fast. Maybe you type 160 words per minute. You can type it out in 30 seconds, but you don't know what you're typing because you haven't read the docs. It's like it can take months to read the docs and understand well enough certain programming concepts to even make things. Your typing speed matters almost not at all. And you'll see that some of the best programmers of all time, like Linus Torvalds, was kind of like there's some pretty mid typists that are just amazing programmers because it's way more about the non typing part of programming than it is about the typing. The typing is like something I think too many people focus too much on, and I was guilty of that for the longest time as well. But yeah, it's not so much about typing and Vim and speed. And yeah, it doesn't matter. It's way more about how much you read and how good you are at reading and understanding things quickly. Hey, Reens, how's it going? Um, yeah. Since Whisper Flow, I type way less. So you're just talking. That's interesting. Is that what Whisper Flow is? The Greek is in class right now. He might stop by the stream. I could text him. Um, TJ DeVries is live, really. I'd love to talk to TJ, honestly. I was gonna set up a meeting with him, but then I got put in the psych ward. But I think we're on the same page for a lot of things. Yeah, domain knowledge. Reens still hasn't found a project idea. I'm not helping you. Come up with your own shit. I can't think for you. Mm, go raid him? What do you mean raid him? Uh, Typing Vim, ErgoQ are more about comfort than productivity. It's absolutely worthless if you don't go back to reading docs and doing other projects. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, Telescope is cool. Since I've seen that one video you made typing speed, I got addicted to monkey type and I've been typing for weeks now. I'm sorry to hear that, but hopefully that'll be a good lifelong skill for you. I got glasses today. I'm a 10x dev. If you could become a billionaire tomorrow, what would be the first thing you would buy? It would be more political power. I would use it to get more people on my side. I would be like, look at all this money I have. You should listen to me. Reinstall education in America. That's what it would be. It would be to influence people. It wouldn't be to buy anything. Um, what's this stream about? It's not all that much, to be honest. I haven't even started using the Glove 80 yet because I've been so into like just talking to people IRL. I'm honestly this sounds terrible, but like I might be done with programming for a while just because like I, I I'm so effective at talking to people now and like organizing people that I just have other people doing programming for me. So I'm like almost like a manager more than a programmer myself. But I do want to eventually try the Glove 80. It's just there's a lot to read on how to optimize all the layers and everything, and a lot to practice. And there's so much else I'm reading right now. Yeah, I've worked with Unity and Godot and Love 2D a little bit, and Pygame, I guess you could consider. I've done a few. Bevy game engine is kind of cool. Yeah, I am getting addicted to talking to people. Yeah, it's really fun because once you read like a book like The Charisma Myth, you're like, wait a minute, people are basically as simple as programming languages now because they watch TikTok all day and they're immune to like, or they just don't understand persuasion. You can really like use them as pawns basically, which is it's a bad way to look at people. You should really be helping people. That's why I'm telling you all about this. Don't use your knowledge over people to exploit them. Uh, Is it easier being a manager than coding? Yes and no. Some ways it is, some ways it's not. Dealing with people is a very complicated thing in itself. And I don't think it should be one or the other. I think you should also really know how to code well. Because if you don't know technically what's possible, it's like very difficult to be a good leader. Um, you have a lot of confidence for someone that hasn't done anything. How do you know I haven't done anything? And yes, talking to smart people is addicting. How good is it to use vanilla JS when you can write your own library? Will it make you a good programmer who can easily work with React, Vue? Yeah, it will. That extends JS. Yes. Knowing vanilla JS is pretty important, honestly. Pretty early to transition from dev to manager. I'm not fully doing that transition yet. I'm just learning the managerial skills. It's very important in your career. Do you think in 10 years AI will make 99% of labor obsolete and education will be a hobby, kind of like going to the gym is? I think that's what it should be like right now. I don't think like education. Oh, oh, how horrible that I have to learn. How unpleasant. I can't wait to just go back to living my uneducated life being farmed by companies like TikTok and fast food, just living in my endless little bubble of ignorance. Boy, that's fun. I think it should be like that now. I think, and AI is horrible. It's like not nearly where they were promising it. Yeah. Would you say your verbal intelligence is greater than your quantitative? I don't even know it. Verbal intel, like you mean social intelligence? Verbal intelligence, like how well I can communicate ideas? I don't know. I don't think there has to be like one greater than another. Right? It's all kind of interconnected, really. Do you ever use Go? Yeah, I've used Go. If you don't have an NDA, can you share what projects you have done at work? Um, I work for a company called Start GG, but I can't really talk about what I did. It was on esports event management, web dev. What have you done then? I don't know. I have a YouTube channel. You're listening to me talk. What have you done? Poor little monkey. I haven't like created a company that's created billions in shareholder value, but I have a ton of friends who are in that space, and I don't know. I'm working my way up to it. I'm networking around. Uh, I use VS Code and use my mouse sometimes. MINGMI. Not. What does NGMI mean? Um, T. No, no. I've read many other social engineering books, not just that one. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm socially engineering you by yawning. Flex your board games and sick art. You can see what the board game looks like a little bit right now. The board is right behind me. Oh wait, I can't. That's not the camera that's recording. Never mind. That's the board of it. Man, I'm tired. Do you have any experience of day trading? No, I don't. I don't try to dabble in fields that I haven't read about a lot, because otherwise it's like you're just being an idiot and you're just wasting money. Um, yeah, maybe you're right that I'm drunk off a mental amount of clout. But I don't know. I feel like what I've achieved doesn't need to be like money and cars and all that. I've achieved like a mental clarity. I've achieved that I'm like reading a lot every day and I'm expanding my horizons and I'm like talking to tons of people and like I'm just in a good state of life. I don't have to have achieved some material like big company that's made a lot of money or done a lot of good for the world. Like I'm a student primarily. You shouldn't be treating everyone like they're like they have to be capitalistically producing tons of value for the world. I'll probably try to do that one day, but for now I'm just reading a ton every day and I feel like that's a huge victory because most people I see around me are just watching YouTube and watching TikTok and not reading nearly enough. And if they are reading, it's like I see a lot of fiction. I don't know. I don't want to blanketly dismiss everyone around me, but it's like I don't. I've gotten to the point where I'm just reading a lot now and just trying to understand as much as I can. And I have my focus back and I have my mental clarity back. And yeah, I see tons of people around me falling for the corporations like TikTok and all the fast food and advertising and just like going in these little loops. And I find that I'm finally reading now and I'm kind of free from those things to some extent is what I've really that's what I would say. Um, yeah, yeah, you're right. I am an immature person because I'm young. I don't really have a lot of like experience and wisdom, but that's why I feel so achieved. I feel like it's not about like the achievement itself. It's about the trajectory I'm on is very positive. Like the more I learn, the more I realize that the world needs books again. Um, Chronic sleeping can be harmful. No, I read everything. I'm reading a lot about communication theory and how to talk better, how to get ideas across to people. The thing is, what's really horrifying is the founding fathers back in the day, they would read so much and everyone had so much like logical understanding and education has gotten so bad and shallow now and everyone's just on the internet all the time that communication has become basically playing to people's emotions and getting them to conjure imagery that's like riles them up. Like you guys can all have six-figure jobs if you listen to what I'm saying and do this. You use this framework, and if you do this, you're gonna get this. And it's all of our entertainers on YouTube are just doing that now, and it's like it's working because people will watch the Primogen and Theo for hours and hours and hours. If you this framework is the new framework and AI is coming in to sweep it's just like this meaningless garbage rhetoric and it just continues to like keep people just zombified because they're like money, money, I can get money and I can survive and money, 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 and it's like nobody's curious about anything. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. um you read every book on the shelf? I've read every book ever printed. You like drinking water? Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of water. Um, yeah, yeah. Old textbooks are very rigorous. New textbooks are kind of butts. Best science fiction probably Brian Herbert and Isaac Asimov. Yeah, I've completely replaced YouTube with books and docs. I don't know, but watching, yeah, maybe Primogen isn't like that. Maybe that is a bad example, but to me, he seems a little bit. He seems like a Silicon Valley guy who basically like got a job at Netflix, and then he was like, "Ah, man, I'm an okay engineer, but I'm not a great engineer." Left Netflix and now just like talks. He's like all day Netflix, Netflix. When I was at Netflix, here's my take as a guy from Netflix, and it's like if you're really an expert on programming, like why do you spend all day streaming and not really programming that much? Like you program occasionally, but really good programmers like Jonathan Blow just program all day because that's what they're good at. It's a little suspicious to me that his skill set is apparently so good and he just talks about programming opinions all day and codes a little bit, but I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm doing right now, so I can't even really talk. Uh, Types in Golang, text templating, very interesting. I haven't yet. Um, how do you make coding projects and learn by reading manuals? Like how you search for solving a problem. You just have to think and like you'll realize that the problems you have can be solved by just reading more and more and more. If you don't understand, just read more. Don't try to fix the problem, just read more stuff and then the problem will become clear to you. Just keep reading and reading and reading and absorbing information and the problems will just dissolve. Whereas if you're trying to fix every problem with GPT or Stack Overflow, it's like very slow and painful and you won't go all that far. Yeah. Kind of questioning if I want to do CS. I'm in my third year of college for software app dev. My coursework feels irrelevant to what I want to do in life, learning Scrum, Agile right now, but I'm scared to back out. Why are you scared to back out? I mean, would you rather live your entire life in misery and corporate hell, or would you rather do what you want to do with your life? I don't know. It seems a lot scarier to me to go on the second option. Yeah, I am shit taking Prime, and I'm 21. I'm not 22. Thoughts on Vim itself as an LSP instead of using a form like NVim or something like LazyVim? What do you mean Vim is an LSP? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Um, let's see. Yeah, we need Prime's opinion and opinions on opinions of Prime. Yeah, see, this guy cuts right to the core of it. It's like, why do you care so much about a guy and his opinions? What can't you form your own opinions? Why do you need to vicariously program through Primeagen? Can't you just program yourself? Yeah. I actually don't really have anxiety ever. I don't really feel negative emotion ever because of Zen Buddhism, and I understand regulating my emotions now. So one of the best ways you can deal with anxiety is flood your brain with oxytocin, which will counteract anxious feelings. And one of the best ways to do that is either get a hug from someone or imagine you're receiving a hug from someone. Actually, you can placebo yourself into not having anxiety. It's actually pretty amazingly effective. I don't feel enough anxiety ever to need to do that trick, but I know it exists and it works. Like, make your own Vim config to be connected to language servers instead of pre-installed config. I mean, maybe if it's worth learning about language server protocol for you, but I like to just code on something else. If you want to learn how that works all the way to the bottom, that's great. But yeah, I don't know. Um, Out of all the languages, why did you choose types? Because I wanted to make a board game and it just had the best features, I guess. It just did what I needed it to do. Pick a language based on what it does, not like anything else really. I've never been hugged by anyone. IDK how it feels to be hugged. You gotta work on that. Uh, uh, I can't vibe code in types. Boo. Yeah. How unfortunate. How will you ever get by without vibe coding? Oh no. I think that as time has gone on, people have become less independent and outsourcing a lot of their. I totally agree. I absolutely agree. People are outsourcing all their thinking to other people. You're here to listen to a guy tell you how to think right now instead of reading and thinking on your own. And you're basically, I don't know. It's really sad to be honest. What's your take on blockchain and crypto? What's your take on blockchain and crypto? What's your take on blockchain and crypto? Guy needs to know now so he can make that bread. Dude, it fucking doesn't matter. I don't care about blockchain and crypto. I make a lot of other money, and if you want to skill max on some random unhelpful thing for society, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Um I got into your videos like 1 or 2 days ago, but I like how responsive you are to criticism, but also you don't beat around the bush, and I FW that heavy. I like to I like the cut of your jib. Thanks for using the expression cut of your jib. That's a good expression, but capitalize your eyes, my guy. Those are proper. Um, but thanks, I appreciate that. I'm content hearing another person's perspective. A lot of people love to follow, not a lot of people like to lead, apparently. Yeah, Balatro is a really good game. I have played that, but I solved it and then I got boring. Dude, when you are literally reading someone else's opinion. Okay, fair enough, but my take is like, you should be, if you want to be consuming other people's opinions, you should be doing it through books and not the internet. It's just way more efficient. I'm just an efficiency maxer through and through. I just want to do everything really efficiently. So, yeah. Yeah, it's vibe coding, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if I need to play Factor. I'm kind of done playing video games that are engineered to be as addictive as possible. It's not all that enjoyable to me anymore. I just prefer to read. I don't think I have the capacity nor the desire to work under the pressure of managing other people. I'm kind of content with being the implementer. Yeah, that's a very valid thing, and I know a lot of implementers. Like, don't forget, Apple was not just built by Steve Jobs; it was also built by Johnny Ive and Steve Wozniak. So, um, I don't drink matcha. No, that's fucking internet performative bullshit. I mean, if I enjoyed matcha, I would drink it, but to me, it tastes like grass. But maybe I could like it. I'm not telling you how old I am because it's all over the place, and you're just like looking to compare yourself to me. Yeah, to enjoy reading is to enjoy being by yourself. Yeah. And honestly, like just sitting here on stream, like I'm getting a lot of questions that I like realized like a long time ago on like I don't know, a lot of the questions you guys are asking me are not so important. It's like no offense, there's a lot of questions that are just like you would just have an answer to if you just read books. And it's like you're just trying to extract the same information from me. What's up, Callus Coder? It's this is like my office. Um, I'm so brain rotted I can listen to audiobooks on 3x speed faster than I can read. You're so brain rotted that you can barely like grasp simple grammatical rules. You're sitting here in like a stream just spewing like random barely legible English and like yeah. Just just read some more books. What book am I reading right now? It's called Objective Communication, and it's about how we perceive like the ideas, how we communicate ideas back and forth. There's a really cool thing I learned from it recently that we figured out crows can only count up to about 3 by like adding and removing people. They could like see if the crows would have certain reactions, and like the crows have reactions up to about 3 people, and then beyond that like their reaction stays the same. And there's like certain other limits that humans have to communication. It's quite interesting. So yeah, objective communication. I just want to learn how to get my thoughts across to other people more clearly. What books did you read to find out what you're passionate about? Dude, I can't tell all of you how to live your lives like completely, like I don't know, what are you passionate about? There's no manual to figure everything out in life, and I can't tell you every answer to everything. Like, realize how much you're like looking to other people for validation in what you're doing. Like, have some of your own agency and curiosity. I think that's like the most important thing. What do you enjoy doing? It's not like what I think would be like the most enjoyable for you. Like, what do you enjoy? Do you believe the best chance to remember for a long time is to write books? I don't know. Writing is definitely powerful. I would write. Um, you're a private now. You have opinions for us. Um, no, you guys aren't losers. I think just like you'll realize like the more you read. I'm just a big reading advocate these days. I don't know. It's weird to me to be giving all these opinions out to people because like I don't really feel all that qualified myself. And it's like I don't know, why do we listen to each other so much? Like why do people look towards other people to tell them what to do for everything? Like we Everything is like that. We're just looking at other people trying to figure out what to do to fit in all the time. And like if you're just looking at me and trying to figure out what I'm reading and what I'm doing to get ahead, it's like it's just all not a loser. Got it. What else should I be thinking? Yeah, some people are lost. Yeah. Yeah. And we don't think our judgment is correct. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, listening to experts the other day, I guess I am advocating for that. Yeah, I don't even know what I think. See, that's the danger with listening to experts is like I don't even know what I think on a day-to-day basis. Like the information you're getting from me is just like poisonous. Like it's contrarian. It's like I'm just figuring all this stuff out myself. So it's like why are you coming to like some random 22-year-old who barely knows anything when they're like masters who have been like studying the craft of learning for years and years and years and have written condensed books on it. Like I'm just some random 22-year-old, 21-year-old on the internet. Yeah. Can you switch immediately between talking and reading? For me, social stimulation would mean I need to calm down before I do something that requires mental capacity again. Yeah, I feel that too. Social, because you're in a different mindset when you socialize with people. At least you should be. If you can hype yourself up to socialize, that's what you should be doing. It'll make you a lot more charismatic. Um, well, it boils down to you being the same age as us. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it's like an alter ego. Yeah, okay. I understand that. Yeah. You're always wearing the same jumper now. Is this part of your social engineering to enhance your public perception? Are you British? Jumper is very British. No, it's just really soft. I just like it. There's no planning behind that. Yeah, sure. Why not read? When I started reading, it low key broke my own bubble and toxic ideas. Yeah, reading is very, very powerful. People listen to other people more than they think for themselves because it's easier than to think for themselves. They can put less effort. Not all people, just some that I knew. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I do that too. Like, that's the reason I read so much. Like, I don't want to figure out social engineering on my own. That would be like a massive, massive task. But if I read about it a lot, uh, curious. Um, you're reading so much because you're bored? No, because I'm interested. Because this the problem with our society is you never want to be bored anymore. Like people just amuse themselves constantly, and I don't think that's really problematic. But it's like there's a perception once you stop TikTok and you stop watching all this stuff. It's like oh God, my life is boring. But your life actually becomes exponentially more interesting when you're able to just read books all day and learn about deeper things and how things work. It's pretty amazing, like what amount of knowledge there is out there. Like all the stuff, all the how much do you brain rot consume social media daily? Zero. I don't have any social media. I upload more hours of content to YouTube than I watch YouTube. I literally almost never watch YouTube. When I watch YouTube, it's to go and comment on people in a similar niche as me so that I can drive engagement to my own channel. That's literally all the social media I have. I have Instagram too, but that's for DMing girls, and I don't really, and I have like posts on it to make it like not weird, but other than that, I don't use any. Um, how many languages do you speak verbal? All of them. Are you religious? I'm not sure. I don't know. Um, let's see. Would you say that watching a movie is full is better than social media TikTok? Absolutely. Dude, movie is like 10 times better. Watching a movie in full, maybe 100 times better. And I think books are a little bit above movies, but movies compared to, I think the hierarchy is like TikTok is literal heroin. YouTube is like weed. It's like bad, but it's like you're wasting your time, but it's not destroying you. And then movies are like, I don't know. It's that's like a low alcohol beverage, and then reading is like just water. My mind is just too loud. I can stare at a wall for hours and just think to entertain myself. The idea of being so bored you do work just doesn't work for me. That's a very interesting thing you said because I feel exactly the same way. It's and it might just be ADHD. What you should do is try to practice something like Zen Buddhism or Taoism. Try to empty your mind of those thoughts. Like work really hard, make that your next skill to quiet those thoughts. Because I have that too. I can entertain myself by thinking. Like I have a hard time being bored because my mind is so interesting to me. Um, is Dune your favorite movie? Honestly, not really. No, Dune is okay, but it's like better as a book. I think my favorite movie, Castle in the Sky, is a really good movie. Same with Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind and Howl's Moving Castle. All of those movies are great. The movie Arrival is really cool. Those are some of my favorites. Yeah, some YouTubers are actually good. That is fair. YouTube, I think, has some real stuff on it. TikTok, though, is literal meth. Like, that's just ruining your life. Yeah, shows are also all right. Shows are okay. Not great compared to reading. Like, reading will just completely change your worldview. But shows are better than TikTok. Why don't you post on X? Because it's just like a shithole of garbage, fake information, and people wasting time compared to reading. No, I haven't watched any Lars von Trier's. Sorry. Is it crazy that I'm a notebook purist for note taking and not? Yeah, no, that's not crazy at all. If that works for you, that's awesome. That's very cool. Um, let's see. Thoughts on playing story games compared to scrolling TikTok? I mean, it's marginally better, but like, really, what you're doing right now is being like, is this behavior that I have acceptable compared to TikTok? Is it how much worse is it? Can I keep getting away with it? And like, really, you should just be reading. I mean, yeah, it's fucking better than like, yeah, meth is less addictive than heroin. Is that what you wanted to hear? Okay, Reens, whatever. Yeah, I've been reading. Uh, let's see. Documentaries, yes. Okay, that's solid. That's a good idea. If that floats your boat. What are my thoughts on Sylvan Franklin? I think he's a pretty cool guy. I think he's just a kid trying to figure things out, but I think he's stumbled onto some clever things. I think he's still naive in a lot of ways, but yeah, I think he's on the right path. Yo, thank you for the 10 buckos. Um, you've changed. Where's the Vimothee we knew and loved? No, but seriously, do you have any plans for Vim videos or what? Because I'm still a big Vim head, still enjoying your other content though. That's a great point. Yeah, I've kind of moved away from Vim because of all this like reading and social engineering. But no, you're gonna see some more technical stuff in the future for sure because I don't want it to be all about just like I don't want to switch away too much because I understand I am pretty important to some Vim learners. What I'm gonna do is I'm like working on. I take a lot of notes these days that I use Vim for, and so I'll make videos about Vim. Like I'm just gonna continue to post daily. So some of them will eventually be about Vim and like my note taking strategies and how I use Vim and types together for notes. You'll get some stuff like that, but it'll be more knowledge management, I think, than it will be about programming. But I'm still actively a developer as well. So yeah, Vim will come back for sure. I'm still every day I use Vim. I'm like it's literally orgasmic to type using the Vim keybinds. It's like my favorite. It's my favorite part of the day. Um, we got some new people in chat throwing out random irrelevant questions like what programming, distro, and investing. Doesn't really matter, man. Whatever floats your boat. What I'm using doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. I think you can succeed on every single language. You could be using Windows like Jonathan Blow is and be writing better software than 99% of the world. Maybe 100% of the world. He might be the best. But streams are the worst. Yeah, streams are horrible for learning. What are you doing here? Yeah, I use Temple OS. I actually wrote Temple OS in another lifetime. You guys know reincarnation is actually real. Bring back legendary Vim macro that I can tell my kids about one day. Dude, I will. Yeah, that's awesome. That's got to come back. Yeah. Um, sorry, sorry. We've got a Logitech advertising agent in the chat trying to get me to say some corporate stuff. Sorry, I'm not endorsing your company, man. What was the Helix joke? He licks my balls or something? I can't read all of chat. There's too much. Do you do leak code? Do you do leak code? My man has to know so he can get a six-figure tech job. He's got to know. I'm not telling you that. That's trade secret. Yeah, you don't get to know. It's my favorite historical period, dude. One time, my girl had such a heavy flow that like we couldn't do anything for like 3 weeks, and like her emotional state was just like crazy the whole time. And yeah, that was my least favorite historical period. I like the ones that don't last very long. You stole my website, dude. How? Did you just rip the whole HTML document? Which software development niche are you a master in, i.e., web dev or AI? All of them. All of them. There is no niche. Niche is a. Yeah, dude, you can riz girls by using Vim. That's how I get all my girls. I hit them with a. You can you can use MK session to save your active tabs and splits and buffers, and then you can reload your session by sourcing the session file on each restart, and they just like the panties just drop like crazy. It'd be funny to make a BS open source project for the community to work on. That would be interesting. Dude, that's actually such an idea. I was like, that's kind of dumb, but what if we made some project that's like so. It's like literally, it does nothing. It's like a completely fake project. It's like hundreds of thousands of lines of code. And like the README is so ambiguous, you can't tell what it does. It's like it doesn't actually do anything, but it's just like complete ambiguous nonsense that's like utterly incomprehensible, just complete nonsense code base. And we get more and more people to star it and see if we could like get it on GitHub trending, and it's like just completely useless. There's literally no point to the entire project. It's like some big buzzword filled like piece of garbage nonsense. It literally has no meaning or bearing on anything. And then like hella people, like we can create an organization and like pin it to your GitHub. So there's like just like some project of like 40K stars, and it's like some literal useless nothingness. That's so funny. That's actually hilarious. And we get like more. Does anyone like know how to get like a star bot or like GitHub engagement bot? We just get hella bots like pointing at it so it like rises up the ranks and just try to make like news with that. I think that would be really funny. Just as like a critique of how shitty modern software has become. And it's like try to make I can make like parody videos, like making some new JavaScript framework, and I like hype it all up, but it's actually like just complete garbage nonsense. But like we'll see if people like noobs will actually try to start reading it, and it's like just like a that's the type of shit that could get on Fireship. That's actually like a really funny idea. uh, sending this VOD to GitHub. You better not. You better update readme, update readme, update readme. Yeah, just like crazy commit messages that do nothing. Um, uh, React wrapper. Yes, submodule, so many random things. It has like 20 different programming languages in it somehow. And it's like just like Python files that are just like 800 lines of imports. And it's like, yeah, that would be so awesome. And just like a huge code base of just garbage. Yeah. Yeah. Have you read The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin? No, but I'll save that. Thanks for the rec. Uh, yeah. Yeah, right on about primitive. Oh man, I need water. Like all my. I'm like sore AF. Too much sex. Be right back. Are you still on Mac OS? Sure am. Your applied math class is useful for CS. Do you think you would be doing coding side project if you were a CS major? I don't know. I don't know what I would be doing if I was a CS major, but absolutely, dude. There's no. You shouldn't be thinking about like, is this useful so I can do this? Is this information necessary so I can do this? It should be just like collect as much information as you possibly can. People have this misconception where there's like a limited amount you can fit in your brain, and to some extent there is, but you're filling like 0.00001% of your brain. You're filling it with mostly like internet slop. You can there's not like, oh, I know applied math, shit, fuck, man, I'll never fucking know computer science. Brain is filled, only 1 degree you can only get 1 degree. Whereas like the best programmers, the smartest people that change the world the most, like were cracked at math, cracked at computer science, cracked at social interaction. Like there's a limited amount of time in the day, but when you're spending your entire day watching like internet slop and not reading, it's like you're barely filling the potential you could possibly have. So I just read as much as I can about everything, and I don't worry so much. Uh, um, there's only so much time you can spend learning. Yes, but you're probably at 1% of your potential. Like I don't I maybe read 6 to 8 hours a day, and maybe two of that is an audiobook while I'm doing other stuff like cleaning or like working on art. And then maybe like the rest of it is like concentrated reading now, where I'm like writing down notes, and this is like my break day from it. Writing down notes and like reading very actively, and then I read before bed too. So it's not the full day. Like that's about half the day in reading. The rest of the day is socializing with all my friends in college, and then I also like exercise, and so that's you can spend way more time learning than you think you can. I'm trying to wear more saturated clothing. Do you tend to keep hundreds of tabs open? No, I'm a serial tab closer. I actually only have like one open at a time. It's really bad. I close tabs that I need all the time because I'm such like an organization freak. Um, Getting 2 decades, 2 degrees can be really easily, especially if you plan early. Yeah, your brain stores pointers, and that's way more useful. Sure, sure. Follow whatever you're passionate about. What people who are average say you should. You're going. All the greats just follow what their passion is. Not all of them. Some people do things they hate for a little while and then realize, oh wait, I actually like this. You'll find you can really like any field as long as you get good enough about it. There's some book that says that. It's like it's by the guy who wrote Deep Work, Cal Newport. It's like the more you do something, even if you think you hate it, the more you'll like it. And it's like more about being competent than it is liking the field for its own sake. Where do you get audiobooks? I get them. uh, I have like enough credit card money now that I just buy audiobooks straight up off Spotify, which is inefficient. I use Libby as much as I can, and I use my public library as much as I can. Yeah. Who are you, dude? I'm Sylvan Franklin. It says like right below. There's my name. It's like right next to the buttons. Yeah, exercise is absolutely crucial. I'm a huge proponent. How are you not burned out? Because I love what I do. I actually get energized by learning and reading. It's like if you force yourself to do what you hate, you'll get burned out. But I've cut everything other than exercising and reading, so to me, it's like the most fun thing there is. It's like TikTok is burnout to me. If I were on TikTok, I would be so depressed I'd kill myself. Not to say you should do that, but you should consider not. Um, do you actually retain anything from audiobooks, man? I don't know a single person who thinks audiobooks are even comparable to regular for. Well, yes. The problem with audiobooks is if you do other things at the same time, then it's like bad. But what I do is I write while I've repeated that several times, but you have to be taking notes and actively listening. Do you have any practical skills? I have hella practical skills. I can bake, I can cook, I make a lot of money, I can code, I have like a public audience, I can communicate people to people clearly. I have pretty good vocabulary. I can I know like ancient Greek and Latin. It's not spoken languages, but I don't know. I think I have a good amount of skills. I can ski, can sail. Um, yeah, I don't consume caffeine. Push pull legs. Yeah, push pull legs is all right. I don't lift so much anymore. It's mostly cardio. I use Firefox. That's the browser. I did go to the gym for a long time actually. I was a bodybuilder for a while. Uh, mm, Burnout only happens when you do something for a long time and you get no positive feedback from it. No social media will give you no outcome whatsoever, which will give you burnout. Yes, but if you're reading constantly and you're getting feedback, like reading books that'll actually improve your life, that'll give you a lot of positive feedback, especially the charisma myth, because you read it and then you're like, wait, I can be popular if I choose to be. And yeah, pretty awesome. Could you share note taking strategies? I don't really have note taking strategies. I just write random things down. That's something I have to work on. When are you doing a boxing match? I don't know. I have to find someone really old and pathetic I can beat up in front of millions for a bunch of money. I haven't found anyone that willing to do that yet. What do you think of music? I think it's good. Music is really interesting actually because it can really regulate your mood. So what I do if I want to like get people to talk to me, if I want to be very influential in person, I'll listen to like Pop Smoke or some like rapper who's like rap is horrible music. Honestly, it like really has a lot of negative themes. But I just like imagine myself with like hella nice cars and shit, and then like I go into the conversation and I'm really confident because my mind is all in this mode of like high achiever, successful guy. And then you can listen to very calm, relaxed music, and then like try to eliminate all those thoughts, and then you'll get into kind of a work mode. But I don't listen to music when I'm working anymore because it just distracts me. If I'm just silence. My skincare routine is pure diet. It's all just like eating healthy food, and your skin will resolve itself. There's a lot of toxins in our food that are. This is not like hippie nonsense. This is scientifically verified. I would check out the channel Brian Johnson. He's way better at health than I am. Make weight at 185, dude. There's no way. I weigh like 130. I'd have to gain 50 pounds of muscle mass. Um, I don't like how you said rap is a bad genre. It's not a bad genre at all. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and a lot of really like cool artistic stuff that's been put into rap. And I honestly love rap myself. Like 21 Savage and Pop Smoke and Tupac and Big L, and there are a lot of amazing rappers, a lot of really deep meaning and great things. The problem is you have to look at some of this stuff like from a societal standpoint. How do we respect Pop Smoke? You know, when his lyrics are like, yo, I have like 20 cars, I sell hella drugs, that's how I'm super rich. I sleep with girls constantly. I take a Percocet and then feel amazing. It's like, yeah, you fucking took a narcotic. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? And we like idolize these characters. It's like you're just a horrible influence on society. You just do all this horrible shit, and then we're like, oh man, that guy has such grind. He's such grind set. He sells cocaine. That's horrible. He's getting all these people addicted to shit, and then he's like glorifying the lifestyle. I mean, the music is fire, and so there's a lot of artistic like stuff put into it, and you can't blame rappers because they're coming from like terrible places of oppression and like projects. So, yeah, I don't actually. It's very complicated. I think rap is a really cool invention, but it's also it is kind of problematic. Some of the shit they say is like pretty bad. Or like how do we respect Playboy Cardi as a culture? Like he literally like just gets up, says nonsense about being high like all the time, and he just like his lyrics are actually just retarded. Like how do we respect this guy? And it's I mean it's fire, but like yes, I care about the meaning because if you're shoving this stuff down your throat 24/7, you're kind of giving yourself all these subliminal messages like it's okay to just like take hella drugs and beat on girls and just sleep around and have meaningless sex and just like pleasure max 24/7 without trying to improve anything. Yeah. What are you doing to prevent going bald? I luckily I have very good male hair genetics, so I'm doing nothing. I'm just diet, eating healthy and exercising. Thoughts on metal? I think it's pretty important for the industry. It would be nice if we went with wood because it's more sustainable, but I get it's not as conductive. Um, Jazz rap is really cool. Tribe Called Quest. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tribe Called Quest, and yeah, yeah, jazz rap is great. Cardi is my goat. Cardi is fire, but it's also like it's fire, and I like rap music too because it's really like hype and it's fun to listen to. So I respect it, but the more I think about it, the more it's like, why do we idolize this lifestyle? It's actually horrible. um, uh, I guess the meaning doesn't stick to me no matter how much I listen to it. I don't know. I don't know if you can say that definitively. Like it's so easy to think that, but there's like a lot of subliminal stuff that sneaks in, I think, that you may not notice, but it's like you may want money more than you otherwise would have if you're listening to these guys that are equating money and happiness and girls all together. Horrible is totally subjective, yeah. It's but I don't know. I'm more pro learning and not degeneracy. My music taste is just completely from what I hear in the media and consume in the algorithm. Me too. Yep. Yeah. What about EDM? Yeah, I'm a fan of EDM. I'm a fan of basically all genre. Thoughts on one monitor versus multiple monitors? I feel like multiple monitors allows you to have multiple windows in your view at the same time, whereas one allows you to have only one. Hopefully that answered the question. I don't do drugs. I haven't even smoked a cigarette yet. Yeah, I don't either. They're all kind of a scam. One thing I will say, one day I'm not. This is like 10 or so years down the road, but ketamine and other psychedelics can make your mind very neuroplastic, so you're open to a lot of mental change all at once. So what you can do is do ketamine or something, and then try to learn like a language really quickly because your neuroplasticity is very high, and you're like capable of reforming different connections. So I think research around ketamine is very interesting, but
I'm too on the verge of being schizo anyway to try any major drugs right now. Wait till you hear about multiple apps on the same monitor. Poetry is a dead art in the modern era, which is a little bit sad. I don't know if it is. Like, I would say poetry is the equivalent of TikTok for the generations of the past, but it's like way more creative than TikTok. It's like it doesn't really achieve anything other than being interesting in itself. Yeah, I can play violin. Why don't I grapple? Like with a grappling hook? Yeah, I'm crazy enough as is. I can't imagine myself on drugs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, people with higher neuroplasticity lose. Yeah, it's a memory issue. Like I know a brilliant programmer that has a pretty bad working memory, but he's like a really good programmer. So he has like crazy connected all these things about programming and sees things at a really high level, but he has a hard time remembering things for a very long time. I think because he's done some psychedelics. Alcohol is just straight up a scam, unfortunately. It doesn't really get you anything. It doesn't get you happiness. I think from a creative standpoint, light drugs sound cool. Everything is a trade off. And the problem with a lot of drugs is they're way more subtly addictive than you think there are. In my opinion, with weed, it will. You're not just addicted to the feeling. Weed actually is able to kind of cultivate some thoughts that are like continue to think about taking weed. It's a really insidiously addictive drug, and so are a lot of them. So I just um, BJJ and wrestling. Yeah, it would be cool at some point. I have too much on my plate right now, though. So um, I'm 14. What do you think of the current state of the job market? I think the current state of the job market is just what it should be for how little work people are doing these days and how much they expect for the tiny amount of work they're doing. And I think that's actually a great thing because once you start like doing some hard work and reading some docs and learning on your own and not cheating with ChatGPT, you'll find it quite trivial to get a job. Um, I don't have the violin with me. Yeah, yeah, I am actually 7. Yeah. I'm just a very mature 7-year old. Day in the life at Google or finance bro daughter or finance bro son. Damn, that's tough. Yeah. Um. Hmm. Damn, my whatever bone that is crazy. Uh, you can't steal that bone. Have I looked into increasing my reading speed and efficiency? I have. I have a Turkish friend, sorry Jake, who has been giving me a bunch of reading on that. So I'm gonna. That's some of the reading I'm gonna do earlier today or later today. I think it's a muscle. Oh, it is a muscle, really. Like a jaw muscle? Do you know what a monad is? I have a vague understanding. Is it a good idea to use Adderall to deal with brain rot? It can be. But Adderall is very dangerous because if you take Adderall and then go back to the brain rot tendencies, you've essentially done nothing except made it much harder now to do anything without Adderall. I don't need Adderall anymore. I can just focus without it. It's taken a tremendous effort, but I'm slowly learning to be able to focus without it. And yeah, it's going well. How's the real analysis course, dude? I dropped out of school ages ago. I'm a businessman now. Yes, Adderall is quite abusable. I prefer crystal meth, honestly, because like the focus and the euphoria you feel from it is just a lot stronger, and it's also like cheaper and easier to acquire on the streets where I'm from. Um, no, unfortunately, I'm not all that gay, but, but no hate if you are. Unironically, meth is better. My favorite programming language right now is Typed. My main source of income is that guy who donated $10 most recently. That's actually a significant. Um, um, yeah, I agree with the speed reading take. It's not so much about how fast you can read; it's more about how much you can comprehend. Wish we had tissues in this office. I really have to blow my nose.
Hmm. All right, I'm gonna go and leave and blow my nose. Nobody do anything crazy while I'm gone, because it would suck to miss like a huge donation or some shit. I don't do blow on stream because it's pretty illegal. All right, I'm back. Yes, we lost some guys. That's good. I can't program. I keep making video game cheats by accident. I'm a video addicted to video game cheat development. Ah, damn it, another one. Fuck. That's like that whole thing that's like help I accidentally built a shelf. It's like I don't know how accidental that was. It's kind of like being like a drug addict and it's like, "Oh damn it, I accidentally went to my job that I applied for and saved up a bunch of money and then I went and called my heroin dealer and then we went out back and I bought the heroin and then I fucking lit it up with a lighter and sucked it up with a syringe and shot it into my vein after purchasing that tourniquet. Damn it. I keep accidentally doing that. You have more agency than that. Someone donated 500 bucks. Damn, that sucks. I'm never going to see that message. Um um Blow is my favorite drug because of the numbing feeling it would do. Heroin would be good. Have you actually Cool. Cool. Wish I could make important life decisions by accident. um, how many books do I think I've read in my lifetime? Like three or four at least. Heroin is mid. PCP analogies are where it's at. I live in a library. Yeah. Yeah. What's my nose surgery coming? Dude, that's crazy. Sylvan, why do you think people ask you things like, "How many books do you think you've read in your lifetime?" Oh my God, what a purposeless question. I think people ask questions like that because they're lost themselves and they see that I have certain like things they consider successful, and they want to know how to do the same things. And that's totally understandable, but it, it really doesn't matter how much. If you just start reading and reading and reading and reading, all those questions will dissolve, and you'll be like, why did I ask him how many books he's read? It doesn't really matter. It's just like it's just not something that, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Do do do. For the sake of stupid internet tribalism, are you Team C or Team Rust? I'm Team Zig, I think, because I think Rust is dumb, and I'm not good enough to see that Rust is dumb. But my friend, who's a way better developer than me, who can basically make operating systems, he doesn't use Rust because it babies him too much. It's like the memory management is too over the top, and C is like if you're a really good developer, you just want to be able to have dangerous things like null pointers and you want to be able to dangerously do things with memory, sharp knives. But for the most developers, I think Rust is better because it requires a certain amount of skill.